Hi everybody, welcome to GTCoding. In this tutorial series, we are designing this blog homepage using Next.js. And in the previous video, we designed this section right here, which is the random quotes section. Now in this video, we will design the footer. So let's get started. Right here, I'm in my source code, and let's go ahead and go to the components folder, and let's create a new file called footer.tsx. And here let's go ahead and type export default function footer. And let's go ahead and return a footer tag, and let's type footer over here. Let's go back to our page.tsx file, and let's add the footer over here. I will just add the footer in the layout.tsx file so that the footer is available on all the pages of our website. So here let's go outside the children, and let's import the footer from components footer. So now if you go back to our website, here we can see that footer is being displayed over here. Now let's go ahead and create the footer. So here, let's go ahead and add a div over here, and here for the footer, let's add some classes. So let's type class name. Let's set the background to BG background, border top, and let's set the border color to border 50. And let's go ahead and add some classes to the div. So let's type class name. Let's add a max width of 7XL. Let's type MX auto to bring it to the center, and padding left and right of 4 for screens larger than smartphone. Let's type padding left and right of 6, and for larger screens let's type padding left and right of 8, and padding top and bottom of 12. Now here we can see for the footer we have 3 columns, and for smaller screens we have 1 column. So let's go ahead and create another div over here, and let's add some class names. So let's type grid, and grid calls of 1 for smaller screens, and for medium and larger screens let's type grid calls of 3, and let's add a gap of 8. Now the first thing we need to do is we need to add the logo and this text and these icons. So for that, let's go ahead and create a div over here. I'll just add a comment. I'll just type brand, and here let's create a div, and in the div we will have an S3, and let's type resonance over here. Now in this S3 let's add some classes. So let's type text XL for larger font size and font serif, and let's type font bold, text foreground for the color, and margin bottom of 4. So this is how it looks. Right now let's add a paragraph, and let's copy this text from here, and let's paste it over here, and let's add some classes right here. So let's type class name, text muted foreground, margin bottom of 4. And after that we need to add the icons. So let's go ahead and create a div over here. Now let's add a class over here for the div, and let's type display of flex and space x of 4. So we'll have space between the elements. Now in this div we need to add the icons. So we'll just go ahead and create a const at the top. So here let's go ahead and type const social links, and here we will add an array of objects. We will have the icon and the href and the label. So for the icon, first of all we'll get the Twitter icon from Lucid React, and for the href we need to add the link of our social media page. So I'll just type hash for now. And for the label, let's go ahead and type Twitter. You can also add the latest icon of Twitter, which is X right now. For now I'll just keep Twitter, and then we have the next object, and let's type icon. Let's get the icon of GitHub from Lucid React, and let's go ahead and type href. Let's set it to hash, and let's type label, and we need to set the label to GitHub. And after that we need to have the LinkedIn icon. So let's type icon LinkedIn from Lucid React. Href will be hash, and label will be LinkedIn. And then lastly we have Instagram. So let's type icon Instagram from Lucid React, href of hash, and label of Instagram. Right now let's use this social links array. So let's scroll down, and here let's go ahead and type curly braces social links dot map, and for each of the link I'll just call it link, and let's create an arrow function over here, and let's type const icon, and the icon will be link dot icon, and let's go ahead and return a link. So let's get the link from next link, and in this link we need to add the icon and the label. So let's go ahead and type icon over here. Let's add the class name, and let's set it to h5 and width 5. And after that we need to add the label. So I'll just create a span for that. Let's type link label, and in this span let's add a class name of sr only. So this will be just for the screen readers, and it won't be displayed over here in our website. And we also need to add a key. So here for the link, let's add a key, and let's set the key to link.label because it is unique. And let's also add an href, and let's set it to link.href, and let's tap target underscore blank for opening it in a new tab, and let's tap class name text muted foreground, and when you hover over this, we'll set the text to foreground, and let's tap transition colors and duration of 300. And let's go back to our website, and this is how it looks. We can see that all the icons are displayed over here. Right now, the next thing we need to do is add the quick links over here. So let's create another div. So this is the div for the brand, and let's go outside this. Let's create a comment called quick links, and let's create a div, and in that we will have an h4, and let's type quick links over here, and let's go ahead and add some classes. So let's type font semi-bold, text foreground, and margin bottom of 4. So here we have the quick links heading. Now for the quick links, let's go ahead and add an array over here. So let's type const quick links, and here let's go ahead and type name home href / and let's create another object. Let's type name categories, and let's type href / categories, and let's add another one. So we have about, so let's type name about href about. Let's also add name contact href contact, and let's also add name privacy policy. I just type privacy, and let's type href / privacy page. With that, we have added the quick links array. Now let's loop through the array, and let's display it over here. So after this h4, let's go ahead and create a ul element, and let's add class name of space y2, and here let's go ahead and type curly braces quick links dot map, and let's type link for each of the links, and I'll just return a list item, and let's set the key to link dot name, and let's add an anchor tag. So let's use the link from Next.js, and here let's type link dot name, and here for the href, let's go ahead and type link dot href. Let's add some classes over here. So let's type class name text muted foreground, hover of text foreground, transition of colors, and duration of 300. So this is how the quick links look. Right now we need to add the next column, which is the newsletter column over here. So let's go back, and let's go outside this div, and let's create a new comment. I'll just type newsletter, and let's create a div. Let's type h4, let's type stay updated. Let's add some class names over here. So font semi-bold, text foreground, and margin bottom of 4. Now let's create a paragraph, and let's copy this text from here, and let's paste it over here. Let's also add some classes. Let's type text muted foreground, margin bottom of 4. Right now we need to add the input and the button. So let's go ahead and create a div for that. And for this, we will import the input from Shadcn. So let's go back to the Shadcn website, and let's search for input, and let's copy this command. Let's go back to our terminal, and let's paste it over here. So we have added the input. Now let's go ahead and type input. So we are getting it from UI input. So if you go back over here, we can see that we have the input displayed over here. Let's also add the type to email. Let's set the placeholder to your email, and let's create a button. So let's type button, and let's get this also from UI button, and here let's type subscribe. And we need to have the button on the right side of the input field. So here for the div, let's go ahead and type class name flex, and flex call for smaller screens, but for larger screens we need to have flex row. So these will be one next to the other, and let's add a gap of 2. So this is how it looks. Right now the last thing we need to do is add this copyright text over here at the bottom. So let's go outside this div right here, and here let's go ahead and create a div. In that we'll add a paragraph, and let's copy this text and let's paste it over here. Now for the year, I'll just go ahead and type curly braces new date dot get full year. So this will get the current year, and here we can see 2025 is displayed over here. And let's add some classes to the div. So let's type class name, margin top of 12, padding top of 8, border top, border color to border 50 for the opacity, text center, text small, text muted, foreground. And let's save this. Let's go back, and this is how it looks. So with that, we have styled the footer of our website, and let's go to the light mode, and this is how it looks. Let's also take a look at the smaller screens. And here we can see on smaller screens, we have everything one below the other. So everything is looking all right. So with that, we have completed designing the complete homepage, except for one thing, which is this mobile nav menu over here. So we will do that in the next video. So that's basically it for this video. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comments below. And if you like this video, please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel to get the latest video updates. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day.